what did the building firm of Charles Sayers and Sons actually build in Mitcham? But first off, you might be asking, well, who's Charles Sayers and Sons? Now, this photograph on Merton Memories, I think, is the only record there that shows their offices. This is in the London Road, well before the road was widened, just between the Jobs Centre and Barron Grove. So we can see the sign here that says Charles Sayers, and I guess that says and Son Limited. And who's that driving out? Could be a customer, could be one of the builders. So what did they actually build? Well, this ad from 1963 says that the firm of Charles Sayers and Son Limited was established in 1889, and it was a couple of years before that he was a journeyman carpenter working on the construction of the Vestry Hall in Mitcham, which opened in 1887. It's likely that their early work was mostly private, not the sort of thing that you'd find in the newspaper columns. But their name does crop up in some council minutes, like these in 1910. They got the job to repaint lampposts. And also a more larger job, I guess, £40 for improvements to the fire station. In the 1920s, however, they started to be involved in more to do with council work, such as at the Chalet at the Tamworth Farm Recreation Ground. They weren't the main contractor, but as these council minutes show, they were involved in other things like fencing and putting up tool sheds. A few years later, in 1928, they were involved in the refurbishment of Eagle House, and in fact they replaced the head on both statues at the front of the building. As it says here in the Mitcham Advertiser, 26th of July 1928. Beheaded birds recover their heads. Century-old Mitcham mystery. The restoration of the house and gateway is being carried out at the instance of the Holborn Board of Guardians by Messrs. C. Sayers and Sons, Mitcham. There are tons of lead on the roof, cupola, chimneys and other parts, Mr. Sayers, Senior, told the Advertiser. And the basement walls are 30 inches thick. The following year, in 1929, they won the tender to build a shelter at the Fairgreen. Their bid was £237. It became called the Drewett Memorial Shelter, and its location originally was on the side of the London Road. Over here we can see the Huttons, fish and butchers, as was at the time. As I say, this is before the Second World War, before the bomb damage caused that building to be reduced to one story. And here's the shelter, and behind it the bandstand, and I suppose that's the original plaque, the dedication to local councillor and Surrey County Councillor J.D. Drewett. And this is one of the old gentlemen who made use of this shelter. So let's have a look at an aerial photograph. This was taken 23rd October 1952. And over here is the Fairgreen. You can see the Majestic Cinema, St Mark's Road, Buck's Head Pub, now known as the White Lion and Mortimer, King's Arms Pub, and that's the shelter there. So that was its original position, almost opposite the toilets. It was moved when this redevelopment was finished. It was moved all the way down here. A lot of the old guys who frequented this shelter said, we don't want to go down there, there's nothing to look at. But I think what they also meant was there was hardly anyone walking past in front of them having a chat. Imagine all the people walking past here, going to shops, getting buses. Let me just chat to the old guy sitting there. And once the shelter got moved down here, that social interaction finished. And the position of the memorial shelter that's probably more familiar to you can be seen in this photograph on Merton Memories. And here you can see in the background the Iceland store, and so that way towards Western Road. So as far as the council is concerned, it seemed like a good idea at the time to move it at the back, but it stopped being used by the old guys, and started being used by people who do this sort of thing. And so in the 1990s, it was demolished. In February 1939, the firm bid £4,586 to build the Maternity and Child Welfare Centre, seen here in this photograph from 2009, at the corner of Church Path and Church Road. The following year, Charles Sayers Sr. passed away, aged 74. The firm continued to be run by his son. Thank you for watching. If you want to know more about Charles Sayers' life, I have an entry on my blog. I'll put a link to that in the description of this video, where there are articles such as his obituary. If you like the video, press the like button please. Subscribe if you haven't already done so, and leave comments. Bye for now.